Perfect, and we are recording. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. I am here with Karen Fisher from Lynn University. She's going to provide us more information on learning differences and applying to college. So thanks very much, Karen, and take it away.
Of course, of course. I'm so happy I could help hopefully answer a lot of questions that are running through your head right now about the college application process and how college academic support programs look and how they work. There are plenty of different types and kinds, and just like finding the right fit college, I think it's going to be really important to find the right fit academic support program at whatever college or university that you end up at. So we will get started here with the information that I put together to present to all of you today. So basically, the long and short of what we're going to talk about today is what are you supposed to look for in a college academic support program? As I just mentioned, no 1 or 2 or 10 academic support programs are the same. But again, I think once you find the right fit for you, the rest will be smooth sailing. My name is Karen, as they said. I am one of the associate directors in the Office of Admission. I work with all of the students that live and go to school in New England. So if you are applying to Lynn from the Tilton School, I will be working with you through that academic process. And then, of course, we have an academic coach named Adam Payne who would be more than happy to answer any questions at a further date. And all of our contact information will be at the end of the presentation. So let's kind of start with the basics and what we're looking here for in an academic support program. As I said before, every school has support, but what exactly does that mean? There are a few different sort of entities that fall under academic support at the collegiate level. So ADA accommodations, that's going to be something that every college and university has. It is required by law. Every college or university will have an ADA compliance officer who manages those ADA accommodations. Those are accommodations that are provided to students from the Americans with Disability Act, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second. Every college and university is also going to offer some type of tutoring. Again, that's going to vary depending upon what level of tutoring that you need and what every college or university offers, and I'll get into more details about that in a little bit. And then last but certainly not least, comprehensive support programs. Now, comprehensive support programs are not offered at every college or university. And the comprehensive support programs that are offered at college and universities vary greatly depending upon what university you're looking at and what type of program that you're at. And again, I'll get into more details about that in a little bit. So we will go ahead and get started with ADA accommodations. These are going to be free accommodations and they must be offered by law at every college or university. So every place is going to ask you, is going to offer these for you. However, and this I think you'll see as a common theme throughout the entire presentation, you have to ask for these services. You have to provide documentation and you have to advocate for yourself. No faculty member is going to come knocking on your door and say, hey Joe, hey Jen, do you need any help? Can we offer you any ADA accommodations? Absolutely not. These are questions that you are going to have to go and seek out for yourself. I've made a really short list of some of the accommodations that fall under ADA accommodations. Again, it's going to vary by each college and university. I recommend that you go and schedule an appointment with the ADA compliance officer to make sure that whatever accommodations that you need are going to be offered to you, but this is kind of what ADA is referring to. So ability to record a class lecture as long as you have permission, ability to use alternate testing environment for examinations, a large font, use of a calculator for math exams when it's appropriate. So very basic functions that are very easy to ask for and to receive, providing that you have the correct documentation. It is important to remember that no tests are going to be altered from the original format. These are accommodations, not modifications. So coursework, exam work, nothing is going to be altered. It's only going to assist you in basically getting the same end result that any other student in the class would be receiving. And then also talking about different testing centers. Most testing centers, again, everything is going to vary each college or university that you're specifically looking at. Most testing centers will be proctored by a faculty staff member who's, again, just making sure that you're taking the exam and that's all that's happening, nothing else is going on in that testing center. Another thing that is going to be offered at any college or university out there is going to be tutoring, and tutoring is probably the thing that comes in the most shapes, sizes, and forms for students to receive. And again, it's just a matter of finding out what type of tutoring you need and what type of tutoring is going to help make you successful. So professional tutoring is going to be the first one. Professional tutoring can have a cost associated to it based on, again, the type of program that you need. For example, it could be a flat hourly fee, $50 an hour, you pay for the hours as you go, you buy hours per the semester, whatever it is that it may be, but typically a fee is associated with that, unless it's part of a comprehensive support program, which I'm going to talk about in a second. The next thing would be peer tutoring. Again, peer tutoring is something that can come with a fee, and it can also not come with a fee, because again, peer tutoring is one of those things, it can take a lot of shapes and forms. Peer tutoring can be a tutor who is recommended by the specific department. Maybe you're taking a marketing class and you're really needing a tutor, and so the marketing department or your marketing faculty member says to you, hey, Sarah took this class 2 years ago. She aced it. She's one of our top marketing students. She would be more than happy to tutor you. Maybe Sarah is a peer tutor who gets paid an hourly rate, again, by the university. Or maybe Sarah is just your friend and you know that she took that class last year and she sees that you're really struggling and she's like, you know what, I'm going to help you with this because to me, I understand it and maybe I can rephrase things for you. And maybe that will come in free of charge. So again, professional tutoring, and peer tutoring can vary in the respect that they are received. And then online tutoring is something that has really grown in popularity even before COVID-19 sort of hit and changed a lot of things to online resources. Lynn has offered online tutoring for students for many, many years. And it, again, can be a fee-based program that it's part of your comprehensive support program, or they're online tutoring sites that again are an hourly rate and they're really valuable. Also too, because of social distancing purposes and things like that on our campus, a lot of our in-person tutoring, just to make sure everybody feels safe and secure, is done online as well. So online tutoring can again be coming in a lot of different forms. Now, comprehensive support programs, those are really full out academic support programs. And again, I'm sorry I keep saying this, but all of them are going to be a little bit different. So I think it's really, really important that you do all of your research to make sure that you're finding what is going to best fit your needs. And I think the reason that comprehensive support programs are so different is the fact that everybody learns differently, So having one size fits all, a comprehensive support program isn't going to work because it's not going to service everybody in the way that they need to be serviced. So some things to look into when you're looking for comprehensive support programs. Are students in the same classes, or are they remedial or college preparatory programs? Like for example, at Lynn University, in our comprehensive support program, all students are in the same classes as everybody else. It's no different. The curriculum is no different. The assignments are no different, nothing like that. For comprehensive support programs, educational testing is required. So that's going to be a full psych ed evaluation, a full battery of tests, IQ exams, and so on and so forth, that pretty thick testing that is way above my knowledge to read and sort of analyze, I guess, for about the lack of a better word. And typically that testing has to have been done within the last 3 years, because typically colleges and universities are really looking for testing that's been done during high school. Because if you have testing that was done when you were in 6th or 7th grade, and now you're a senior and you're 18, probably a lot has changed and probably a lot is different. So we want to make sure that that testing is done within the last 3 years. Again, if you're receiving support services in high school, you probably have had your testing done in high school, but if you are looking to sort of get it redone before you head off to college or university, I usually recommend sometime like that summer between your junior and your senior year. That way you can be all set and sort of ready to go. Most comprehensive support programs are going to have a testing and tutoring center, as we talked about before, an alternate testing location where you can take your exams in sort of a distraction-free, time limitless situation. Also the same thing with the tutoring centers. For one-on-one tutoring, where is that taking place? For group tutoring, where is that taking place? So there's typically a designated spot on the campus for that. A lot of one-on-one coaching is given in comprehensive support programs. Again, every college and university is going to have their own name for it. And we call it coaching. Some places they'll call it advising. Some places they'll call it counseling, whatever it may be. But essentially, it's one-on-one time that's given to you with a professional staff member. And those are things that you work on, organization, structure, time management, that kind of stuff. So again, just one-on-one time with somebody to be like, hey, how are things going? How's that project that's due in 2 weeks coming? How are you feeling about your term paper? I know you're really stressed about your statistics exam. What can we do to make sure that you're prepared for that? And sort of a catch-all for everything that is your academic success at colleges and universities. And last but not least, comprehensive support programs are typically fee-based. If you are looking at programs and they're saying that they're comprehensive support programs and they're not fee-based, I would really encourage you to sort of deep dive and see why is it not a fee-based program at Lynn. Our program is an additional fee because you are being serviced by professional staff members that are hired by the university who are, their only job is to be a professional tutor or a one-on-one coach, so on and so forth. So again, typically those fee-based programs are going to offer that professional level, not a peer-to-one-on-one, a peer-to-peer, relationship. So it's important to look at that. For the most part, comprehensive support programs are going to be academically based only. All colleges and universities will have some type of psychological and counseling component. Usually that's separate from the support program, but again, that's something that you're also going to want to look into when you look into your programs. And then there are some comprehensive support programs that at that specific college or university, everybody is in that program. I think it's important to know what percentage of the population is in the support program.
Karen, can I touch base on that really quickly?
Yeah,
one of the things I really appreciate about Tilton's CAA program is that we have very qualified staff there as well. So when working with college counseling, as students, you should also be talking to your CAA teacher and asking if you think that if they think that you should still be in a comprehensive support program. And asking for their support and feedback on that can be really helpful in narrowing down what we should really be looking for you.
And I think that sometimes, students who have been in support programs in high school, you have such an amazing foundation that, I don't know, sometimes you don't even give yourself enough credit. You're coming in with so many tools and self-advocacy skills that are going to benefit you in whatever type of program you end up in college, for sure. So as I said before, I work in the admission office. So I am the one who's reviewing applications of students who apply every single day. So I think it's really important, if you are looking at a school with a support program, to know what the admission process is looking like. So know what is required of each institution. And then when you are asking for that letter of recommendation, it's usually not required, but somebody, as was just stated, the CII teacher, that might be a good person to ask for a letter of recommendation. Somebody who has seen you through the support process and can really say, there's been a ton of growth. There's been a ton of self-advocacy skills that have been developed over the years. But then they can also speak to some of your weaknesses too. I think any good college letter of recommendation is going to talk about your strengths and talk about your weaknesses. We are not perfect people. Nobody is. Everybody is going to have a weakness along with a strength. So I think finding that person who can really speak to your academic skills and success and challenges is a great person to include a letter of recommendation from. Review the essay topic. As I said, I read hundreds of applications a year. I have been doing college admissions since 2003, so I have read thousands and thousands of applications and essays in my years. And I have read so many from students who are receiving support services or who are applying to our support program, and they talk about their learning struggles and their learning challenges and what they've overcome. That's great. I am so happy that you have found what's worked for you. I'm so happy you've overcome things, but that your learning challenges and your learning situation is such a small part of who you are as a person. So I always encourage students to write about something totally different. Write about what you love, what you are passionate about, because that's going to come through in your college essay. You are not defined by your learning difference, not at all. So really, you want to come in, everybody's coming into college with a clean slate, and I think starting with your college essay, really writing about you and your passions and your excitement and all that sort of stuff is going to be better than any sort of learning difference that you might have. There are multiple spaces usually on any college application, like on the Common App, there's a part where you can write about educational experiences. At that point in time, that's a great place to write about any support services that you've received, or why you're looking for comprehensive support in college, or why, what your learning differences are. It just has to be a paragraph or two. Again, I want to get to know you as a person. I don't want to get to know you as a person with your learning difference. It really I think separating those two is going to be great in terms of the application review process. As I mentioned before, make sure you have up-to-date educational testing, usually within the last 3 years, but definitely check with every school that you're applying to. And then find out if there is a separate application or an interview. Every school is going to be a little bit different. Some schools require admission interviews for the support programs. Some schools require separate applications. Some schools require you submit your testing before you're accepted. Again, every school is going to be a little bit different. Make sure that if you are accepted to whatever university, that if you're applying to the support program, make sure you find out you're accepted to that support program as well. So those are great things to ask and just be aware of in the college application process. And then also too, know what questions to ask when you are looking at schools to find that right fit support program for you. What percentage of students are in the program? At Lynn, it's only about 20% of our population. So not a ton of students are in it, but still you wouldn't be the only one in the support program. There are schools out there that have 100% of students in the support program. And again, it's just gonna find out which one is gonna be the best for you. Ask, is it academic support only? As I mentioned, Lynn's program is academic support only. It's just help with your classes and your academics. Any sort of counseling or psychological aspect of it or social aspect of it is separate. But again, some schools, they bundle all of that in together. So if you know that you want some psychological support, if you know that you want some social support, find out what those options are at whatever school that it is that you're looking at. Also too, our class is modified. I mentioned this earlier on in the presentation. We provide accommodations, not modifications. We do not have any remediation classes, preparatory classes. All of our classes are the same regardless if you're receiving support or not. And that's an important question to know when you're looking at other schools. Also too, is there an additional fee? As I mentioned before, usually most comprehensive support programs do require an additional fee, whether it's for the semester or for the year, really just depends, and ask how much it is, because again, those are gonna vary from institution to institution. I always go back to what our director of our support program says. He always says you get what you pay for. So at Lynn University, our fee is fairly robust, but again, you're receiving a lot of services for that, which I'll talk about in a second. Is interview required? A lot of schools will require an interview to get into their support program. You're interviewing either with an admission professional like myself or potentially a member of the support program to determine if that program is going to be right for you. And then what specific testing is required? As I said before, a full range of psychological testing is probably going to be what they're going to be looking for, but really just see what's required, because typically to receive services in a comprehensive support program at a college or university, a 504 plan and an IEP are not going to be enough. You're going to need much more testing than that. So things to keep in the back of your head. Something I touched about a little bit earlier in the presentation was to be a self-advocate. Really, at the end of the day, you are the one who are going off to college. You are the one who are sitting in the classrooms. You're the one who are sleeping in the residence halls. So be your own self-advocate. And like I said, if you've been receiving support services in high school, you probably have more self-advocacy skills than you probably even give yourself credit for. But make sure you educate yourself on your learning disability and the accommodations that you've received. Because at the end of the day, this is all coming back to you, and we want you to be successful. So understand your testing. When you get that testing back, I know it's a big, thick packet, and like I said, it is above my level of comprehension, but really go through it line by line and just see what it is that the testing is saying, so that way you know what's being provided to the staff members at whatever support program that you decide to enroll in. If you are having IEP team meetings, be an active participant. These meetings are about you. Make sure that you're involved so you know what's happening and you know what's going on. This is going to build more self-awareness and really help you take ownership of your accommodations and what you're receiving. And also too, I think it's really important to identify how you learn. As I said earlier, the beauty of most support programs is that they're not all the same. You could be in the support program and your best friend could be in the support program and you could be receiving totally different services because you and your best friend don't learn the same. Everybody learns differently. So if you know how you learn, you know what services are going to help you be the most successful that you can be. And then also too, at the collegiate level, this is really, really important to be self-sufficient. As I said, we're not going to come knocking on your door saying, Joe, it's time for your math test. Let's go. You know, you are going to be responsible for doing that. So you need to be in charge of yourself and everything that's happening. And honestly, that should start with the college search process. So be in charge of getting ready to leave for college. I am speaking on behalf of myself and every other admission professional out there. Check your email. I know we all hate this. I know you get a million college emails, but at the end of the day, once you've made your decision, unsubscribe from all those schools that you're not going to. You're only going to one school. Keep those emails and please, please, please keep checking them because there is so much important information, especially from like May until August when enrollment happens. Also to make sure that you're the one who's getting ready for college, you know, make the list of what you're going to need for your dorm, for your school supplies, for your personal items, and go and get them. You know, it shouldn't have to be mom or dad's responsibility. They're not going off to college, you are. So I think it's important to make sure that you're getting all that stuff done. Also too, students, you should be contacting your academic advisor to schedule your classes. Again, I know every school is going to do this different. At Lynn, we do one-on-one appointments. Some schools you do it online. Whatever the registration process is, do it yourself. Mom and dad, they're not taking the classes. College counselor, they're not taking the classes. You are. So if you don't want 8 o'clock classes, you need to voice that to your advisor, not coming from your mom or your dad or from your college counselor. So make sure that you are involved and ask about your schedule because again, you know what's going to work the best for you. If an 8 o'clock class isn't going to work, if a 4 o'clock class is going to be better, then you need to know that and you need to take ownership to that schedule. And this is just a tip from one college admission professional to students and families who are watching this. The earlier you register for classes, the better chance you get of getting what you want. So whatever they say is your time to register, don't be late. Be there, do it, and you'll be happy in the long run. I promise you that. So as I said before, Lynn University has an academic support program that's been around for over 30 years. Our program is called the Institute for Achievement and Learning. We also refer to it as the IAL, or the Institute for short, because the Institute for Achievement and Learning is just way too long and too much of a mouthful. So it's a great support program. Like I said, ours is academic support only. So you're in the same classes, the same residence halls, the same majors as everybody else. It's just going to be added support outside of the classroom. As I said, about 20% of our student population is enrolled in the support program at Lynn University. So at Lynn, we offer one-to-one academic coaching. You are assigned a coach the entire time you are in the program. You meet with them for 60 minutes a week. 60 minutes a week can come in a lot of varieties, shapes, forms. It can be once a week for 60 minutes if that works well for you. If that sounds way too overwhelming and way too daunting, totally get that. We have students who'll meet twice a week for 30 minutes with their academic coach. I even know one student of mine who said 20 minutes is what I need. So he did 20 minutes 3 times a week and that worked well for him. Again, even the academic coaching, it's one-on-one, but it's really individualized. And like I said, they're going to help you with the organizational, structural, time management end of things. I always say that that coach ends up kind of being your catch-all for everything that is Lynn University. And at Lynn, we really decide who your academic coach is based on your testing. So that psychoeducational testing that I've mentioned a number of times throughout the presentation, we go through that testing and then we assign you to the coach who we think is going to best service you. Because again, if you're meeting one-on-one with somebody on a weekly basis or more than once a week, you want to make sure that it's somebody that you're comfortable with. We also offer professional tutoring for all of our students. So unlimited tutoring, unlimited hours per week for every single class you're taking with professional tutors, and it's one-on-one. So they are professional tutors hired by the university who have a master's degree or equivalent in their specific content area, and they tutor based on content area. So obviously the marketing tutor is not going to tutor the biology students, you know, it's divided up that way. And it's one-on-one tutoring. And like I said, it's as many hours per week as you need. Years ago, we used to say, okay, every student gets 1 hour per week for every class that they took. And then we thought, well, again, why are we assigning a time and a value to that? Because every student learns differently. So maybe you're taking, you know, that marketing class and you're doing really well and you don't need any tutoring. Or maybe you just need to meet with the tutor before the midterm or the final. That's fine. You can do that. Maybe you're taking, I always use this example because statistics was the bane of my existence in college. Maybe you're taking statistics and you are struggling and you need 2, 3, 4, 20, 50 hours a week of tutoring. You can have that for that class as well. So it really just varies on which class that you're taking. We also have a writing center on our campus. They are open like 8 in the morning to 8 at night, and it's content specific tutoring for just writing. You don't need an appointment. You come and go as you please. You know, so if you get there and there's 2 students who are also there working on their writing, you know, it might take a few minutes for the tutor to get to you. But again, writing content specific, because writing is such a big part of our curriculum. And then our students also utilize tutor.com. Every student is given, I believe it's like X6 or 20, no, I don't know, a certain number of hours per term for tutor.com. And some students really love that because the online component works well for their learning style. Others hate it and they never use it. But again, it's a service that's offered to our students. And also some different apps that we use. NAC being one of them. That's a great app for our students. We are an iPad school at Lynn, so all of our students receive iPad Pros when they enroll at the university, and all of your books are loaded right on there, so you're not having to purchase books, you're not having to lug books around, anything like that. It's all right on your iPad. But again, that's been a huge game changer for our students who are in the support program, with different apps and educational tools that they're able to use as well. At Lynn, we service all sorts of learning disabilities. This is just a short list of some of the common ones that we receive. I wouldn't say that, you know, one is more than the other, but it's just this general ADA, auditory processing, anxiety disorders, dyslexia, dysgraphia, things like that. Those are some of the things that we see commonly on our campus. But again, everybody is considered for admission to the university and to our support program. And as I said before, this is just some of the apps that our students use. Whether you're in the support program or not, I would say screen grab this slide, if nothing else, because I think these are some really great apps that we could all use. It's 2020, everybody has an iPad, everybody has a cell phone, and these are some apps that can be really helpful and really beneficial to you. If anybody does have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. All of my contact information is listed right on the slide there. My email address, my phone number. As I said, I work with all the students that live and go to school, specifically at the Tilton School, but also just in New England in general. And I am more than happy to answer any questions that come up. If they are more specific questions that should be answered by Adam over in the Institute for Achievement and Learning, he'll be more than happy to help as well.
Excellent. Karen, thank you very much.
Of course.
And hopefully we will get to see you back on campus next fall.
Absolutely.